Chris Rood, what's going on, brother? Got my dog barking here.
Yo, what's happening, brother?
Can you
Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me all right?
hold on? It's kind of. Can you say something? Can you hear me? Okay. Let me see. Chris, can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect.
Super. I can hear you too. Guys, please meet Chris Rood, the guy that brought me into this, initiated me into the wholesaling world. I met
I
Chris.
popped the cherry.
What's that? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I met Chris, I don't know, a few years back, and it's been a very, very nice allied friendship, as Chris refers to business people as allies. I think it's a really good concept because yeah, man, I was listening to your live earlier about the ally stuff, man. I think that's the way to go, because then you know, like, I feel like men especially, like, you know, you got your family, especially when you got your family, that's who your real friends are. And then, you know, other men, you kind of cooperate to take down game, right? You hunt together, right?
That's it, man. You don't need friends, dude. Like, friends will get you in trouble. Friends will get you hangovers. Friends will lie to you. And if you need a bunch of friends, I hate to tell it to you, you probably got a low self-esteem. If you need a bunch of friends, man, just get a dog. They won't let you down.
That's it. Yeah. By the way, Chris, I just finally got to Ukraine. They let me through the border yesterday. I had to call the embassy for them to do it, but finally got through to my dog, man. The little dog didn't recognize me, man. It's been so long.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
That's
Chris,
incredible.
I really appreciate you being here, man. You know, I think what we'll do is we'll have our guys here who are here live, and then there's going to be quite a number of people playing this back on a recording. But you know, guys will post up questions here in the chat, or go ahead and unmute themselves and ask. But my first question, the big one, really, is what I think a big challenge that I see a lot of guys facing who are jumping in and creating online lead generation for themselves, is they don't really know how to respond to the leads. They waste a lot of the leads to you know, and I think you probably see that too. I wanted to ask you a couple of tips from Ask the Pro on how you guys approach that in your company.
Yep. So that's a problem that a lot of people get into this business, including me when I first started. Like, we try to force every deal to be a deal when it's not a deal. Like, we sit there and waste so much time on the phone and try to, like, talk them into selling it to us at a steal of a deal. It's just not happening, guys. What you have to do is be very intentional, meaning state your intentions, state your cause, tell them what you're trying to accomplish, and then shut up. They will either disqualify themselves, tell you they can't do that, or tell you, yes, I understand you're an investor. I understand I'm not going to get full retail for it, and I don't want full retail. So what I say and the way I go about it is, it's not like I'm beating around the bush. So let's just role play here so you guys can get a better understanding of exactly what I mean by being very intentional. When you're talking to a person that calls, maybe your you know, a Facebook lead comes through on your online portal, you call it. This is exactly how I say it and what I say. Hey, this is Chris with Baton Rouge Cash Home Buyers. You filled out an application form online about wanting to sell your property. How's it going? Oh yeah. Hey, Chris. Yeah, I did that. And they'll say hello, and I'll just, you know, I don't do too much small talk and just get straight to the point and say, cool, man. So you got a property you're trying to sell? And I say, yeah, man, I got a property at 123 Happiness Street. and I'll just go right into it, right? I'll say, hey, what do you think it's worth and how much you want for it? Just like that. Very intentional, right? And they'll say, well, I think it's worth about 200. I'm looking to get 200. And I'll say, look, man, I want to be upfront and honest with you. And this is my script, guys, right here. Write this down. I want to be upfront and honest with you. I'm not a full retail buyer. I'm an investor. I have to get these properties for cheap enough to better fix up, flip, and make a profit or rent out. So I understand if you need to get 200,000, but I wouldn't better help you at that price. You may just want to call a realtor. I'm not buying that property to live there. And I just shut up. And they'll either say, well, nah, man. And 95% of the time or 98% of the time, they're going to tell you, nah, man, I need to get full retail. I say, look, no problem. I know a really good realtor I can refer you to. And I'm on to the next lead. You guys are going to sit there and be like, well, yeah, we buy properties, but, you know, I'd have to look at it. You're wasting so much time. Tell them you're an investor. Tell them you got to buy it discounted. Tell them you need to make a profit on it. Tell them. As you're going to beat around the bush and make yourself sound like a jackass. And once I state my intention, I tell them that I'm not a full retail buyer. I just shut up, and I either get 1 of 3 responses. No, I can't do that. I need to get full retail. Or 2, I'd like you to just make me an offer. Or they'll say 3, no, I don't need to get full retail. I understand you're an investor. I understand you need to make money. The third one, the latter one, is the one I'm looking for. That's the most advantageous to being a motivated seller. The second one is typically not that motivated. Obviously, the first one, I'm just getting off the phone if they're telling me I know I need to get full retail. The second one, I'll typically, they want an offer, right? When they tell me, well, I just need an offer, I want to see what a cash offer would look like. Before I even make the cash offer, I'll do a soft cash offer over the phone. I'll look at Zillow. Zillow's, for the most part, I would say it's about 80%, 75% of the time, it's pretty close, right? It's not a foolproof, but it's pretty damn close. It gives you a baseline. I'll typically look at it and I'll say, well, look, you know, to give you an offer, you know, I kind of need to know how much work it needs, things of that nature. Do you have any idea how much work it needs? And they'll usually tell me, oh, it don't need much, just paint floors or something stupid like that. Maybe 10 grand. That's code for like 30 grand, right? That they always lie about how much, or they don't know how much work it needs. So if they're telling me it just needs paint floors, I just automatically just plug in 30, 40 grand, right? And if the house is valued at 200,000 on Zillow and they tell me it needs 10, I plug in 30, 40, my offer is going to be about a soft 110. I'll say, look, ma'am, I'll probably be in the 110 range, give or take 5 or 10,000 up or down, based on, you know, an inspection and based on the days on market and based on, you know, how desirable that neighborhood is. And what they'll say is, you know, say, well, you know, they'll either say, I can't do that. Most times say they can't do that, or they'll have to think about it. And if they have to think about it, then I'm following up with them the next day and the next day and the next day until they say, hey, I quit, I'm not selling it, or hey, I'm gonna go ahead and sell it to you, or hey, I'll meet you in the middle at this price. And then from there, I'll either say, let me back up. You know, if we're going back and forth on it, like from the second rebuttal that I talked to you about, they just want a cash offer. When you make that soft offer, you just gotta listen, right? And I'm giving you guys a lot of value, like I'm throwing a lot of stuff in your face. This is recorded, so hopefully you can go back and listen, because I only got an hour. What you're listening for, guys, is problems. Nobody's going to sell you the house without a huge problem. So when I make that soft offer, or I tell them I'm not a full retail buyer, I'm an investor, I have to get it for cheap enough to better fix up, flip, and make a profit, I'm just listening to their response. Their response to that will tell you if they're motivated or not. Nobody's going to sell you the house for pennies on the dollar if they don't have a problem. At the end of the day, guys, this is basically, it's legalized theft, what we do. Let's call it for what it is. Don't try to sugarcoat it. It's legalized ethical theft. I'm not gonna bullshit you, right? But it's legal because they agreed to it, because the equity in their property means less to them than the problem at hand that they want to make the property go away, because the property is a huge headache for them, and to better, you know, get the equity out would cause more pain in their life than it's worth. And they're willing to just give it away and basically let you steal it. But I'm intentional, and I tell them up front that I need to make a profit. And most people that understand that, they're like, look, I understand you need to make a profit, right? And that's the people I'm looking for. I'm trying to disqualify, so I don't have to waste a bunch of time on the phone. I tell them up front, hey, man, I may not be a good fit for you. Hey, man, you may want to call a realtor. Hey, man, listen, I can't even give you close to that, so I don't want to waste your time or my time. I'm not a full retail buyer. You probably should call a realtor. And I'm pushing them away, right? And because what that does is it pushes out all the non-qualified people, and they hang up right away. Or I get the motivated sellers that float to the top and say, oh, no, Chris, no, I get it. I totally understand, man. I get it. What would you offer? That's what I'm listening for. That's what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for them to come back and be like, oh, no, Chris, I totally understand. Or, no, I get it. I'm not trying to get close to retail. So that's a quick script that I kind of do. Let me look at some of these questions. Do you know off the top how many FB leads do you typically see equals a contract? Typically, I would, if I had to guess, I'd have to go to the office, but I mean, and really look at it, I would probably say at least, it would probably be in the, I would say 15 to 20 range before we get a deal. Now, PPC is a lot higher. PPC is probably 1 out of 8, 1 out of 6 turns into a deal.
Nice.
So PPC is going to by far going to be your best lead flow, because they're coming after you, right? It's hot, really hot traffic, because they're reaching and they're looking for you. They come and type in sell my house fast. Facebook is a warmer lead. They're still coming to you, but it just so happened that you popped up in their feed and they just so happen to get motivated. So it's just,
there's less intent. Yeah, and that's why we added Google Ads to this boot camp too, where we're kind of teaching these guys both of those, which is that's awesome that you commented.
Yeah, you should have both. You need to. I've been doing Facebook ads and PPC for 6 years now. Like, and you want to do both. You know, I've done in all these different marketing channels. By far, if you want to have a lean, mean wholesaling machine that doesn't require a ton of people, that is, digital is the way to go. Because if you start cold calling, you do all this text blast, you do a bunch of direct mail, which I still do a lot of direct mail, but you, especially cold calling, guys, listen, that's super cheap, but it is a nightmare managing all those guys, and you got to stay on top of that, and it's a freaking grind. Your turnover rate is going to be about every 2 or 3 months you have somebody quit. If you can afford to do Facebook and PPC, it's not as many leads, but you get back your time, meaning the leads come to you. You can go do about your business and go work on another business, go work at your job, and just wait for your inbox to say you got a lead, right, through an email. And I run my whole business like that. I don't want to chase motivation, guys. I want motivation chasing me. That's a totally different business model. When you're chasing motivation, you're cold calling, you're text blasting, you're sending a ton of direct mail. You got tons of, like just traffic. You got to have a lot of personnel to handle that. And it's just it's a grind, right? I want my freedom. I want the best leads. The best leads are online. I've split test this, hands down, by far best leads are online. So
nice. Chris, what's I think these guys should probably all go to Skilleton, man. Whenabouts is that happening? It's gonna be the third one, right?
Yeah, this would be Skilleton 3. This would probably, I would say, depending on this pandemic they got going on, they're gonna roll out Rona 2 or not. They're talking about they're supposed to be rolling out Rona 2 here soon. That's what Dr. Fauci and Bill Gates are saying. So if 2.0, if that happens, it probably won't happen until next year. But if it doesn't, I'm thinking we'll probably do it late this year, October, November, and probably we'll do Charleston, South Carolina, and we'll have some of the biggest hitters in real estate come and talk.
Yeah, the last one was super fun. I mean, yeah, it was like really well rounded too. It was like, I would say like 70% real estate folks, but then 30% like, we got health, we got some other stuff like family, just like management, like entrepreneurial management of family. I mean, entrepreneurs are just freaks about being successful in every part of their life, and that's why I think you got a real well-rounded lineup in both of them, both of the skillethons. So I'm excited for that. If it doesn't happen, you can blame Fauci.
Yeah, I'm going to protest.
Yeah, just don't riot. There's no riots.
Yeah,
Chris,
man. Guys, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, brother.
No, I was just gonna say, if they got any questions, don't be shy. Just come on here and pop on and just talk, man. You know, you gotta get out of your own way and just come and talk and communicate.
Yeah, absolutely. And while guys are thinking of questions, I want to ask you, what's what do just talk about some of your students' successes, like, right? How do folks end up working with you? What are some different options for folks with you? I know you got like an immersion thing when someone can come down and kind of spend a couple days with you, right? That's pretty sweet.
Listen, guys, don't let anybody fool you. Wholesaling is not rocket science. We're not splitting atoms. We're not flying to the moon. It's real simple. We generate leads and we qualify leads for motivation and equity, and we book an appointment. And then it turns into a sales process. So the first it's a marketing game, then it turns into a sales game. So my program is tailor-made, not just on wholesaling. It's more of the skill sets you need and the kind of what I just talked about earlier, qualifying the lead, building rapport. It's a lot of tactical stuff on how to talk to people to win them over. And then on the back end, it's a lot of real estate investing in general. Like, my program is not just about wholesaling. My program is to show you wholesaling, show you how to flip a house, show you how to wholesale, show you how to be an investor, like, buy low, sell high, and look for value add deals, either apartments, single family homes, mobile home parks, short-term vacation rentals. I talk about all of it in my program. In addition to that, the first 4 hours of my program is all mindset and personal development. I'm a huge advocate of personal development, guys. You're only going to make as much money to the degree that you work on yourself, right? Who's that guy that he said it best? Jim Rome. He says your personal finances seldom exceed your personal development. Your personal finances seldom exceed your personal development. I'm a huge advocate of that. I think that is so true. I think the guys and girls that work on themselves the hardest, mind, body, spirit, and really become a fanatical freak about wanting to do well in life and in business are the ones that are successful. If you're just tiptoeing in this and just want to try it out, stick to your 9 to 5. That's for people that just want to try stuff out. You're going to have to be a crazy person. Just to straight up tell you. Like, you come hang out with me, I'm a freak. I hardly eat. I don't hardly sleep. All I do is do deals. And that's just what I do, because I eat, sleep, and poop real estate, right? And if you're not fanatically focused and obsessed with it, you're not gonna generate enough momentum to make a difference to even be able to do this full time.
Yeah, I think Chris is also, like, I think the only person that reads more than Chris is Tai Lopez, or at least he says. Tai Lopez says he reads a book a day, but I think Chris is the real deal there with the reading part.
Tai Lopez is full of shit, dude. The way he reads a book is he reads the fucking Cliff Notes. Get the fuck out of here. I did the same shit in college to try to cheat on tests and read the Cliff Note. You didn't read a book until you read the book, and nobody can read a whole book in a day and understand every aspect and concept that the author's trying to give to the person by reading Cliff Notes.
No, I think the reading part, a lot of what inspired me to, like, read more a lot was just, like, seeing you freaking, like, every morning you got, like, a routine, man. Every morning, pick it up, shit.
Every morning, man. Look, this is what I'm working on right here. I mean, this is the new book right here. The Crash Course is basically about the economy and this unsustainability of all the debt, the unsustainability of energy, the unsustainability of, the baby boomers, all the pensions. Like, guys, if you're not constantly reading and you're going to get left behind, and you can't just read up on real estate, because real estate is only so understandable in a sense. Like, you don't have to spend 12 years to get a real estate degree, right? You can literally fundamentally understand real estate in about a year or two. and be a master at all the concepts and ideas of how to evaluate deals and different aspects of it. After that, you've got to understand politics. You've got to understand how the economy works. You got to understand how to be an entrepreneur, because you got to know the ebbs and flows of the economy. You got to understand the stock market, consumer confidence, who's president, what are the policies, because this will hurt you as a real estate investor if you don't understand these things, right? So anyway, but that's kind of what we talk about in my program. It's like Barry and Gene's been in my program. Like we don't just talk about real estate. Like we talk about a lot of stuff. Like it's very dynamic in a sense. We want to help you become a better human being, because we know if you become a better human being, you become a better investor and you'll make more money.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot why it's a big reason why sellers are, like let's say you show up in person at a seller appointment. I think it shows that in your personality and the way you carry yourself, the closing just becomes easier because you're confident in who you are. You know who you are. You don't have to like act out some kind of act. Even closing comes easier. But yeah, I think your mastermind. The cool thing about it is that your circle is I mean you're like one of my first business mentors, right? So I really see like how you build out your circle with the different like facets of different people from different industries, but like all at high levels. I think that's really it's almost like I always look at things in like a military way, but you got like this alliance, right, with your students and with the circle that you've got. I think that's really cool, man. It's I mean,
Yep.
I enjoy your company all the time.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
Here.
Yeah, let's answer some of these questions. What type of budget should I have for digital marketing, man? As much as you can spend. But I mean, I definitely would blow my whole load on my first Facebook ad. I'd probably start, and Gene could probably touch on this too. I'd probably start with $500-600 to start off with, just to test the market. I'd probably do that for at least 3 to 4 weeks. Go back and look at all your metrics and see where you can make some adjustments, and just slowly scale from there. I started off with a $500 budget, and now typically we're spending $800 to $1,500 per market, depending on how many people live in that market. If it's a market that only you got 150,000 people that live there, I'm not spending $1,500 a month on ads. I'm probably spending about 800, 700. So it really depends on where do you live, what's your budget. But I would say if you're going to do PPC and SEO together, PPC, SEO, and Facebook, you're probably going to have to spend about $500 to get an SEO guy to do it. Then I'd probably spend another $500-600 on Facebook, and I would take the rest. Like, let's just say you had a $2,000 budget. I'd take $500 for SEO, $500, which $500 in SEO, it takes about 6 months to get some real. That's the problem with SEO, And if you don't, and honestly, I don't even know if I would do SEO. If you don't got a lot of money, I probably wouldn't push you toward SEO right away. I would probably just do Facebook and PPC until you start building your cash reserves and you start making some deals and making money. I'd probably just start with Facebook ads and PPC. And then I'd probably spend $500-600 on Facebook, and I'd spend, $1,500 on PPC. PPC is going to be a lot more expensive than Facebook, but it's better quality leads.
Yeah.
So, and let's just say if you don't have $2,000 a month, you only got $1,000. I'd probably just dump it all into Facebook then. What do you think, Gene?
I think, yeah, I mean, I would. So number one thing that I always tell folks is the first thing you want to do is you want to have some kind of retargeting campaign and spend at least $100 on some kind of just Facebook retargeting. That way, any lead you send to your website that's too big to get off 10 or whatever, at least they're being followed up with that retargeting. But then yeah, if it's super low budget, I would definitely go under $1,000. I would go to set up a retargeting ad and then set up a Facebook ad for the rest of the 900. Just because with PPC, you're gonna go through that, you're gonna blow through that $1,000 real quick, and if there's not a deal there, you're gonna be like, fuck. Right?
Yeah.
With Facebook, you'll at least get like for $1,000, you'll get like 20, 30 leads for a G. Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, on average, if we spend $1,000 a month on ads, we'll typically get, one and a half deal. Some months we'll get 2 deals, spending $1,000 a month. That's typically the going rate, but that's been in the markets. I'm in 6 markets in 4 states, guys. That's the average. Some more than others, but you typically get it for every $1,000 you spend, you should pick up a deal and a half, as long as you know how to talk to people and you can close them. So if you hire Gene to do all your marketing, but you can't close the deal, you can't get mad at Gene, guys. You can't get mad. It's a marketing game first, and it turns into a sales cycle second. So that's why you have to learn both sides.
That's exactly why I brought you on, specifically you, because honestly, because of that, I want to just highlight what you said in the lead gen thing, or in the answering the call, or the calling the person. I don't want you guys to underestimate the power of that, what Chris said when he said, just say that piece and shut the fuck up. Like, I do this too. I'm guilty of this too. Like, I'm not on phone as much. Like, I got a couple of guys that are like closing at this point, but I'm guilty of that too. I'll if I'm feeling like I didn't sleep enough, or like I didn't eat the right thing, or I'm like not having a great day, I'll ramble on like an asshole and just ruin my own situation, because they're like, all right, he's trying to sell me way too much, trying to sugar it up, like butter it up way too much. There's probably a catch here.
Yeah, you don't want to sound desperate, guys. If you chase the dog runs away. Back up from the dog. If you back up, it pulls the dog. And I don't mean dog like he's a motivated seller. I'm not being ugly calling a motivated seller a dog. I'm just comparing it to, a motivated seller. It's no different, guys, when you were in high school. You had this hot chick you've been chasing. If you chase that chick, she's going to run away from you. As soon as you act like you don't like her, she'll come to you. So that's why you push him away. You disqualify him. Hey, you probably should use a realtor. Hey, I'm not a full retail buyer. You should probably use a realtor. Hey, listen, I want to be upfront and honest with you. I'm not a full retail buyer. I'm an investor. I have to get this property for cheap enough to better fix up, flip, make a profit, or rent out. And if you can't do that, I totally understand, ma'am. You probably should call a realtor. You see how I'm just pushing them away? And now, if they're motivated, it will show so much of it. Oh, no, I totally get it, man. No, definitely. Like, I definitely, don't need to get full retail. Why don't you just come over and get me an offer, because I need to sell quick. That way you just take all the BS out of it. You take all the pleasantries. Dude, all these pleasantries, people get on the phone and just like, hey, how's it going? Oh, good, great. Oh, how's the weather over there? Oh, it's beautiful. How's the weather over there? Oh, it's great. Dude, you're wasting so much time. And I get it's like you want to be nice and, all these. Dude, I don't do any of that shit. If they're motivated and they got equity, when I meet them at the house, that's when I train my team, and that's when you build the rapport to really, because the rapport, the magic happens at the point where they really like you, they'll freaking let you have more equity than then if they don't like you, right? If they're motivated and they really like you, man, you could literally make sometimes 30, 40 grand on a deal sometimes if the deal is right. So it's at the end of the day, guys, it's people business, right? How well you communicate. And then it goes down to, how courageous are you, or how adventurous are you in making an offer? All this 70% minus repair value bullshit you hear all these gurus say when they're teaching you, dude, that's horse shit. I don't make my offer off of that. I base my offer off of motivation. You think I'm going to offer 70% minus repair value if I know the house is in total disrepair because they're a hoarder and they're in foreclosure and the bank's taking it back in 2 weeks? You think, and they own it free and clear? You think I'm gonna offer them 70%? Why are you limiting yourself to only making a certain amount on every deal? You will lose so much money over time. Some deals I make 60, 70 grand on. Why? Because I know they have to sell. That may sound shitty. Like, well, you're taking advantage of them. No, I'm not taking advantage of them. Dude, I'm buying their house. Find me one person I bought their house that said Chris Rood took advantage of me, and I'll give you $10,000. It doesn't exist. But you grossly underestimate what people will sell their property for because you have low self-esteem, or you want to be fair. Being fair will get you broke. Being fair will get you being average. You don't need to be fair. You need to be effective, right? So if they have a house that they have to sell, and there's a huge problem, hit them really low offer. If you need to get it for 50, hit them at 35. You would be shocked to know sometimes. Let me give you a case in point. I had a house that I bought in Baton Rouge. I was actually on my way back from a vacation in Destin, Florida, and we're passing through Baton Rouge, and I got a lead right at the same time, and I could tell the dude was super motivated. And it was on a Sunday. Everybody's exhausted from vacation, but I knew I could hear the motivation on the phone. I was like, Patty, let's just stop. It's 5 minutes off the highway. Let's just stop and see it while I'm here, so I don't have to come back tomorrow. Because I heard the motivation, guys. And you got to learn to gauge motivation. You can hear it, their tonality, the way they talk. Motivated sellers sound a certain way. They're not all chipper. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I heard you buy houses. You want to come buy my house? Motivated sellers do not sound like that. They're like, hey, yeah, I got a house I need to sell. They have a certain tonality, right? Their energy level is low. Why? Because they have a problem. You have to know these things internally. This is a psychological game. So I could hear the motivation. We went to his house. Sure enough, I got to this man's house. I've never seen anything like this since I've been wholesaling in 6 years. The guy had a nest inside of his house. He was a hoarder. He would not throw anything away. He had Taco Bell boxes, napkins, trash. He would take all the trash and clean it and put it on top, and he made a nest over the past 10 years. It was 7 foot high. I had to climb on top of the nest, and all the trash was clean. He would clean the trash and then make a nest. It was like an eagle's nest of trash. He would not throw any. It was the craziest, most crazy thing. So I knew I was dealing with like somebody that was super motivated, right? And had tall grass in the front. The dude was probably, somewhat mentally ill, obviously. So I get over there, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh yeah, this dude's got a serious problem. He's going to have to sell it. So I walk through the whole house. I'm on top of the trash that he never throws away. I get out. I feel pretty gross. And I say, look, man, that's a total gut. I think you kind of know that, right? And he's like, yeah, I get it. He goes, I said, you realize like I got to get this property for cheap. I have to make money on this. He was like, oh man, I totally understand. Well, in my mind, I don't want to pay no more than 90 for it. The house is worth 225. It probably needs 60, 70 grand worth of work. Being that it was in such disrepair, it was so messed up, and I knew he was super motivated because I could just tell he just wanted to sell it and get rid of it. The most in my mind I was going to pay is 90, but based on the what? The motivation, meaning I knew he had a huge problem. I wasn't going to offer him 90. I offered him 40,000. I said, man, the best I said, listen, would you take 40,000? He goes, oh man. And I'm thinking he's going to come back and say like 100, 110. He goes, can you do 50? And I'm like, yeah, I can do 50. I signed that contract for 50 grand. I sold that deal the next day for 110. And I made $60,000 in that deal. Why? Because I didn't do some stupid fucking 80% or 70% loan to value or minus repair value. You never know what the seller's bottom is. Don't ever try to think that the bottom is always that 70%, minus repair value. If there's a lot of motivation, there's a huge problem, hit them low, test the market, see. And he was okay. He was like, yeah, give me 50. You can have it, brother. And what if I would have hit him at 80? I would have lost $40,000, or I'm sorry, $30,000 I'd have left on the table.
And
so that's it.
He would have fucking thrown that 30 grand to a bunch of bullshit Taco Bell crap anyway.
Come to find out, he was like a freaking all of his computers are full of freaking child porn and all kind of crazy shit. He was so anyway, but that's what I was dealing with. But the point is, guys, you got to learn how to be tactical, and that's what I do in my program. I show you tips and tricks like this that help you maximize profits on every deal. Now, can I get away with that on every deal? No, that's a unicorn deal. I'll probably get a deal like that every other month, right? Majority of the deals we're making 10, 15 grand, right? On a deal. That's about the average, right? don't make $60,000 every deal. I'll make, I'll hit a home run deal probably once a month where we'll make 30 to 50. And then every now and then I hit a grand slam, we'll make 60 or 70,000. But that's neither, that's like finding a needle in a haystack. But you got to learn to probe for problems. You got to learn to gauge motivation. You got to learn to listen and shut the fuck up. Like he just said, right? Like Gene just said, and learn to listen and hear the motivation. You can smell it. They sound desperate. Now, you're helping this person. So you got to get out of your mindset. Oh, I'm just taking advantage of a bad person, of a bad situation. No, it's no different than when you go trade in a car. How many guys have went and traded in a car and lost money?
Oh, yeah.
I've lost money on probably 10 vehicles in my lifetime trading a car. I could have put it for sale by owner on the side of the road and waited maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months and probably made a profit or broke even. But I chose not to, because why? My time was more valuable than equity in the car, and I was willing to take a loss to make my problem go away so I can get into something else. It's no different than you buying a house from a motivated seller, guys. They're willing to trade out equity for a quick sale because the problem is greater than the fact that they want to make a profit on the equity in their property. So before you feel like there's some kind of, ethical or moral thing, listen, I've never had a motivated seller. He was happy I was going to give him 50 grand. He had no problem with that. So that's kind of just a one scenario, but I'm just trying to give you guys some value and break that old guru. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, most of these gurus you following online are all full of shit. Most of them sell information only. They don't do deals. They've never been in the trenches, or they've been in the trenches a couple times. They did a couple deals and now they want to sell information. I know lots of those guys. Learn from people that are actually doing deals, right? What I just explained to you, no guru could ever tell you, because, and you'll listen to every guru, they all say the same thing. Oh yeah, 70% loan minus repair value, 70% ARV minus repair value. Dude, I've never used that formula ever. I look at the value.
You know how I spot a guru, how I spot a fake guru is they've got the greatest webinar in the world, and I'm like, dude, you should be in the business of making webinars. You're in the business of that.
Dude, you freaking nailed it. Some people kind of accuse me for being too basic. I'm a basic kind of dude. I'm from South Louisiana, dude. I'm a real estate investor. That's what I do. My freaking webinars, you see how incordial I am. I'm a straight shooter. I don't freaking lie. I'm not going to cheat you. I tell you the truth. But if I tell you the real truth, most of you guys probably wouldn't even want to be an investor. I told you up front, hey, it's going to be fucking hard. This isn't easy, right? Most of these gurus are telling you everybody can do it. It's so easy. No, like I told you up front, you got to be a freak. You got to be somebody that's fanatically focused. Like, that's the truth of the matter, guys. And if you don't have that in you, stick to your day job.
Yeah, man. I want to ask you, man, this is so important. I think this is so important. And actually, we touched on this in previous module that we did with these guys was I was just telling them how to be comfortable on video, right? How to just be comfortable on video, because we do a lot of video ads. That's our paradigm here. And honestly, what it came down to in that whole conversation was just being okay with who you are, just completely accepting who you are, not trying to impress the person in front of you, just being super comfortable in your own skin, that self-esteem thing. And I want to ask you that, because I know you went through a transformation some years ago yourself. For the folks that are looking, they're aware, they've already got at the first step, they're aware that their self-esteem is a little bit struggling. Where would you, based on what you know and what you've encountered in your life, where would you go next to just boost that self-esteem within themselves? Because obviously it's within one's control.
Yep.
What are a couple things that you would advise? I think it's so huge, especially coming from you, because I know you where you are now, and I think all of us that are doing well have gone.
Everybody.
Yeah.
The first time I had to get on camera when I was working with Grant Cardone, I'd never been on camera, and his video director, Robert Sislo, worked with me on trying to build a brand and trained me and helped me develop on camera, right? And the way you develop on camera is you practice, right? And you be nobody but yourself, and you own who you are. That's what people appreciate. Listen, people aren't stupid. People can sniff out bullshit when you act in a certain way on the camera, because it's not natural. And when you're being somebody else, it's not natural, right? It's just not natural. So what you need to do is when you're making your video ad for Facebook, just tell them who you are and be who you are, and tell them how you can help them. And to get out of that being nervous, here's the thing: like, you have a freaking camera, you can press play and video it and watch it 100 times and erase it and do it all over again. Make 20, 30 sets of videos until you wear out that uncomfortability that you're going to feel when you first do it. It's no different than you ride a bike. You're nervous, you don't know how to do it. No difference when you try to kiss that first girl that you ever kiss. You just do it, and once you do it, like, oh, it ain't that bad. It's no different than being on camera, right? Put yourself on camera. Be very intentional. The way you get away from not sound like a dumbass is be intentional. Hey, this is Chris with Baton Rouge Cash Home Buyers. My company buys houses discounted. We offer cash. We close quick. And we're a company that helps people that maybe have a job transfer. They go on in foreclosure. They're looking to sell their house fast. Maybe they inherit a house. Maybe they have a bunch of repairs they just can't afford and they don't want to do it. Maybe you are, getting a job transfer, right? Baton Rouge Cash Home Buyers can help you. Click the link below. Call me. I'll come look at your house. I'll make you an offer, right? You see how it's just very intense. Like you're talking to your buddy from high school, right? No different.
Yeah. Man, this is awesome.
But to add to that too, what's going to help you with confidence is personal development, right? Personal development is going to really help you. What you want to do too, let me go inside right here. My kids just walked in. What you want to do too is join Toastmasters. If you guys heard of Toastmasters, it's public speaking, right? You want to get massive confidence, learn how to public speak. When you can speak in front of people, that you realize that's America's number one fear is public speaking.
Yeah. That and
Isn't that crazy? It's not going to war. It's not having brain surgery. It's freaking public speaking. So if you can knock that out, dude, how much more confidence would you have? So what you should do is join Toastmasters. It's a free group in your area. All you gotta do is Google Toastmasters in your area. Start going to a public speaking group, and they don't make you just stand up and start speaking right away. They kind of work with you, and they help you develop the skill. And then obviously they have, they'll upsell you on one to get some one-on-one training. But dude, if you can learn the public, that was the biggest thing for me. Once I learned how to speak in public, it transcends everything else in business, relationships, dealing with other people, because it breaks down that self-conscious insecurity that you have about yourself, because you just don't give a shit when you talk anymore. You're not speaking through a filter no more. All of you guys are speaking through a filter right now. Like, what does that person think about me? How do I look? Does that person think I'm okay? Oh man, I sounded so stupid. I used to think like that too. But once you've spoken on stage enough, once you've spoken in front of a camera long enough, like, you don't even think, you just talk, because you don't give two shits what other people think about you, because you've wore out that button of insecurity and worrying about what other people think about you. And it all comes down to practice, right? And all you guys need to get on camera. It'll help you if you do all these things of public speaking. When you get on camera, you'll be such a natural. Be like, man, I want to do business with that guy. He'll watch some motivated seller watch a Facebook ad. Imagine if I got into the Facebook ad, got on camera, did a Facebook ad, and I'm like super insecure. I'm looking down. I came and looking at the camera, I'm like, hey, I have a company and it buys houses, and if you want to sell your house fast, we could pay cash. Hit the link below. Bye. But you see, would you do business with that guy? Of course not. Right? So you got to learn to be confident. The way you become confident is you work on yourself. You do a lot of personal development and you hold yourself accountable. The true secret to being confident is making agreements with yourself and not breaking them. When you make an agreement with yourself and you don't break them, meaning you hold yourself accountable and you're disciplined about every aspect in your life, your confidence raises. Like, I'm going to make myself work out 5 days a week. I'm going to make myself wake up every morning and read. I'm going to make myself eat that healthy food. I'm going to make myself not eat that sugar I've been eating. And when you make the agreement with yourself and you hold it, it makes you feel good about yourself. And what happens? Your self-esteem raises and your confidence level raises.
It's that simple. Yeah. I heard
It's simple.
My lad talks about this too. Yeah. This is that simple. It's hard, but what is
It's hard. It ain't easy.
It's just as simple. But why don't everybody do like these great, amazing, crazy, like awesome things in life? Because they're easy to do, but they're just as easy not to do.
That's right. That's exactly right. And we always go after the easy stuff, guys. The easy stuff is the stuff that don't make any money.
Yeah. And
right?
I heard this thing, like somebody said that if you feel, so I'm, I don't wholesale, right? So for the different business, but still it's the same thing. You're pricing, right? I heard this thing that like, hey, if you wrote up an offer or wrote up a deal or wrote up a proposal or whatever, and you're not uncomfortable, like you're not like you want to throw up a little bit, that you like priced it too high or you lowballed it too much, if it doesn't make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, you probably didn't put enough in there. Right. But if you do it your way, when you state your intention in the beginning, that's why they won't just look at you as this hustler, like, oh, this person's just trying to rob me. Like, no, I told you that I'm trying to rob you, and then I'm doing it.
Yep, that's right. It's a totally different ball game, and it's very intentional. And if you're comfortable, if your offer doesn't make you feel uncomfortable, it's not low enough, right? You're not there to be fair, guys. Being fair will get you broke. Being fair means going to college and getting a job. Being fair means going and doing what everybody else does. You don't want to be fair, dude. You want to be effective. Like freaking be an outlier. Be somebody that goes against the grain. Be somebody that does what other people aren't willing to do, and you'll make a lot of money. It's that simple, right? But it's simple, but it ain't easy, right? So, I hope this makes sense, guys. Maybe you think I'm full of shit. It's okay too. I can take it. I don't have low self-esteem, but this is just how I operate, guys.
No, I mean, I just want to say to folks that are watching it and playing it back, if you, I hope you enjoyed Chris's company, and imagine what it is to get this guy like this every week. Hey, it's pretty awesome. So if you need that in your life, if you want to scale up quickly, I think Chris is the best of the best when it comes to coaching folks. Chris, I really appreciate it, man. Anything else that you want to ask or cover, drop it in the comments. I just want to thank Chris for giving us his very valuable time. This guy's flipping like mobile home parks every day and doing crazy stuff down south. Chris, I really appreciate your company.
Hey, Gene, I appreciate you, man. I think the world of it. I think you're doing awesome stuff. And guys, y'all keep on working with Gene. He's an awesome dude. And listen to what he says. He does a lot of homework on all this digital stuff. So just stick to the process. It works. If you want to skill up, go to chrisrood.com and book a call. Follow me on Instagram at Real Estate Rood. I do tons of stories and give content on entrepreneurship, mindset, real estate, wholesaling, mobile home parks, apartments, everything I'm doing. I share my whole life, right? I share my whole life, and I give you tips and tricks on how to scale your business, your life, your real estate business, and I do free Facebook lives at Chris Rood Entrepreneur on Facebook once a week on Sunday, and we just talk about. Somebody say, Chris, your weekly lives are awesome. So guys, follow me at Chris Rood Entrepreneur, and just keep working on yourself, guys. It ain't easy. If it were easy, everybody would do it. That's what makes it valuable. You want to become valuable to the marketplace. The only way you're going to become valuable to the marketplace is you got to rehab yourself. All this shit about rehabbing houses, that's how you make yourself valuable too. You got to rehab yourself. We come into this world butt naked. Nobody tells us what to do. Most of us have dysfunctional families. If you don't, then congratulations. You're like a 1 in a million. But we get bad information. We're told to do shit that doesn't make any sense because our parents did it. Listen, work on yourself. Get around the guys that are doing a lot of big stuff and just mimic them, learn from them, and work on yourself and make yourself more valuable. When you become more valuable, you attract other valuable people and you'll start making more money.
And one more thing I want to add to this, Chris, is for the guys that watch your free lives and stuff like that, I want to tell you, watching free lives and then doing a program. I bought Chris's program 3 years ago because I wanted a transformation. My dad lost his job, and I already had a little business, and I was working at IBM, but I'm a 10x guy, right? I was making like 150 to 100 grand a year, but I was like, shit, my dad just lost his job. I'm gonna have to support the family. He's the breadwinner there, right? I'm gonna have to send a bunch of money to my parents now. So I'm like, I need another stream. And then I see Chris pop up. And at the time, I was invested into a bunch of B&Bs. I didn't have any cash, Airbnbs, didn't have any cash. I bought Chris's program on an IBM corporate fucking credit card. I'll never forget this day. And IBM corporate credit card. I wasn't even supposed to fucking swipe that thing at like for food. It was just like for travel stuff for the company. But I was like, I need this thing. This guy's legit. I like Grant. He's working with Grant. This guy's super genuine. He's Southern. I like Southern folks. I'm like, boom, let's fucking just do it. Man, that $5,000, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know. I don't think I've made $1 million yet just from wholesaling coaching, but definitely made $500,000 already on this stuff. Just $5,000 swipe a couple years ago, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what commitment and stuff like that, that putting your energy and commitment and finances into the vector of energy.
I love it, man. No, it's true, man. Just invest in yourself. That's how I've gotten as far as I've gotten, guys. I've paid to play. I've bought my friends. Listen, buy your friends. You need more allies. You don't need more friends, right? All your friends from high school, if you still hang around the same people from high school, dude, you ain't growing. Sorry. Like, you ain't growing. Like, you need to buy into the clubs, buy into these. This is why your friends are free, because they're not valuable. You want valuable allies, you want valuable friends, buy them. You're buying into a circle, into an environment that shares value, where you grow and you become more value and you make more money. Nothing's free.
It's from a guy that dropped $100,000 for a sponsorship. Chris Rood on the
Twice.
Twice. That's crazy. Absolutely, man. Chris, thank you so much, brother. I hope you have just the greatest day ever, as always.
You too, bro. Come visit me here in Louisiana when you're back in the stateside.
I absolutely will.
Florida.
Absolutely. I'll come through Florida and I'll do some surfing and stop by and see you, man. Thank you so much, man.
Awesome, man. All right, guys. Appreciate you.
Cheers, everyone. Have a good evening.
Take care.